Hello everyone, my name is Janet Green and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Hospice of Southern West Virginia.
And I'm Carol Brown, the Volunteer Coordinator. Each year, our organization holds a banquet honoring the service of our volunteers.
This year, however, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to cancel this year's event. But we still want our volunteers and the world to know how much their efforts mean to our staff, our patients, and the families we serve.
The thousands of hours donated by more than 120 volunteers is the reason our hospice is among the best in the country.
So in the spirit of that appreciation, we want to begin this virtual volunteer banquet with a message from our leadership team about the amazing members of our volunteer program.
You know, we have people who come in who just care and love people, who just want to come in and be a part of these people's darkest days and try to make them better.
We have great volunteers. I love our volunteers from facility to home to here on campus at Wickham and at Bowers. They're top notch. They do a great job.
I can't imagine operating without the volunteers here. They do so many different things, from answering the telephones, taking messages, putting together our packets for our nurses, and visiting with our patients that don't have family members that could use a little extra time. They help us to provide that special kind of caring.
They're inspirational. They're wonderful. They give the greatest gift of all, which is their time.
They're probably the most giving and kind members of our community. They're people who they come in not knowing what we're going to ask them to do many times, and they just have a willing heart and a willing spirit, and they're ready to take on tasks and responsibilities that make our patients have a better experience at the end of their life, and they're just a fine group of community members.
They truly love the services that we provide here and what we do for our patients, and that we provide comfort for them, and they're willing and receptive to provide whatever service that they need to help us to provide comfort to those who are dying.
We need the volunteers here. They're part of our life, they're part of our patients' lives, and they make a big difference in all that we do here.
They're loving, they're caring, they're giving. They, want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They share our vision. They share our mission of providing that care to these patients.
I think for me, it's their willingness to do whatever is asked of them and their ability to just donate their time. I think time is one of the most valuable things that we all have, and they're just so willing to do what we need for our patients and for our employees.
Hospice can be an emotionally draining place to spend your time, and to choose to do that with no compensation other than just the opportunities and the experience that you have as a person. It takes, we talk about our special kind of caring. I think a hospice volunteer is a special kind of person who feels drawn to serve others, whether it's in the capacity of holding a person's hand while they take their last breath, or being that behind the scenes person who makes sure that those bereavement letters get out to people who need them every month. There has to be a deep level of compassion and care for other people to keep coming back and doing that day after day or week after week.
From the bottom of my heart, I am very, very grateful to be able to look at the volunteers and count them as part of our organization, and to be able to brag on them every time I go out into the community and tell the people what a wonderful job our volunteers do. Because truly and honestly, as I said, they truly are, I feel, part of the backbone of our organization.
At the Bowers Hospice House, you'll usually see a volunteer sitting here in the Commons Room. Before COVID-19, they were the smiling face you would see when you first walked in the building. These are our administrative volunteers, and they play a key role in everything we do, from answering phones to helping us file medical records and many other tasks. Our mission would not be possible without the tireless dedication of the men and women who help us accomplish these day-to-day responsibilities. Pat Earhart is one of those volunteers who has served our hospice for many years. She is also the president of the Hospice of Southern West Virginia Board of Directors.
Well, my mom was in hospice care in November of '98, and it made me, we had I think about 15 or 20 patients at that time, and it made me feel so good that when someone called, Ginger Cole called in January of '99 to ask if I would go on the board of directors or be a volunteer or something, and for 3 years. So I guess you could say I started in January of '99, and it's a very long 3 years. I guess you could say it's who I am. It means that I have an extra purpose. I can find a way to be of benefit and of help to families, to staff, to anybody. And as we all know, hospice is a place that if you are in need, that's what we do. We fill those needs, and I can be a part of filling those needs and caring for the families and helping the staff. And it just gives me a sense of personal identity. It gives me the feeling that the good Lord has blessed us with the ability to have this place, and with the staff and the volunteers and everyone who does make it such a wonderful, caring place in the most dire times for family as well as patients. So I can't think of a better place to be able to say that. It just warms your heart.
We honor veterans. It's more than a program. It's a promise to show respect and dignity to the people who have sacrificed for their country. In rooms just like this one, families form some of the last memories they will have of the ones they love. The program requires veterans willing to contribute their time to honor their brothers and sisters in arms. Roger Gerald is one of those volunteers. At all hours of the day and night, Roger comes to the Bowers Hospice House to hold veteran pinnings, a ceremony that honors the service of veterans facing a terminal illness.
It's the greatest honor that I've ever had. I mean, it touches my heart to be able to come in and recognize another veteran. I can give you an instance. I came in on Friday night, had 2 veterans here, no family with them. And I thought to myself, they tell me the hearing's the last thing to go, and I stayed with them as long as 5 or 10 minutes each one of them, and talked to them and told them about my service. And of course they couldn't tell me nothing, but it's just a privilege to be able to do that, to honor someone else. I just came in to thank you for your service and welcome you home. The first thing I want to do is salute you and thank you for your service. Service to me is helping someone else. I mean, I help people and they ask me how much I owe, and I say, pass it on. Because to me, the only thing you got to offer, if you're not a millionaire, the only thing you got to offer these people is your friendship or a work. And I'm not a millionaire, so I always volunteer to help an older person or a younger person. I wanted to honor other veterans. That way I can continue on my military service. If I can come into hospice and go to a family and do a pinning and I can make that family smile for 1 minute, I thank God I've done my job.
Our mission is threefold: to provide compassionate physical, emotional, and spiritual care. At times, the physical and the emotional support are easier to address than the spiritual needs of our patients. Facing a terminal diagnosis means coming to terms with what might come next. Volunteer chaplains help our patients through their unique spiritual journey, offering non-denominational support.
You know, when I was back about 2008, I got cancer, and I used to enjoy when the chaplains would come by. It just kind of lifted my day. And I knew here that you know, families were at their worst, and I just wanted to be, you know, make a little difference for them. Maybe, you know, comfort them, give them a smile. I always had a fear when I was sick of dying alone with nobody with me. And I know if I had that fear, somebody else has to have it. So I wanted to be here to be with those people that didn't have nobody. You know, I just act like just your average, ordinary person. Just I'm there to be their friend, you know. I want to be approachable, and I want people to be able to consider me somebody they could depend upon. But, you know, I go to the room, I sit down with the family if they're there. You know, sit down with the patient if they're by themselves and let them know that I'll be here for them if they need me. All they got to do is just tell a nurse and they'll get me back. You know, plus aggravate the staff, you know, I mean, I got to have fun there. So pretty much it's, you know, I'm just here for the people to have somebody that maybe they can depend on or rely on. Or it makes me still feel useful. I feel like I can still make a difference, you know, for God. I mean, He's done so much for me. I'm cancer-free 10 years now. I mean, you're looking at a guy that's had 39 surgeries. I got artificial parts in my body. I mean, God's done more for me than you know. And I just feel like, you know, He has kept me this way so that I can still be useful for Him in some way. I've been a pastor, I've been a missionary, I've done a lot of things, and by far I've found the job as a chaplain more rewarding probably than most all, because I get to be with people when they're going through their worst times, you know. And I can remember what it was like when people was with me during my worst times and how I felt. And I want them to feel that same way.
There are so many facets of the volunteer program that touch the lives of everyone they come in contact with. Our patient care program is one of the most essential pieces of our hospice. The volunteers spend time with our patients. They talk with them, play games with them, laugh with them, and make sure they get the essential interaction we all need. They provide companionship, emotional support, daily chores like washing dishes, running errands, and cooking light meals. Most importantly, these volunteers provide a listening ear.
I like helping in any way that I can. So being a volunteer at hospice is very rewarding to me to be able to help someone. My first interaction with my very first patient, I felt different because I had done other things throughout the life, but I just felt like I was called to do something else. And the moment that I went into this room the first day, it was just a different feeling. And I went home happy and talking about it and just couldn't stop talking about it. It was a really good feeling, just that I knew that God had sent me here. It's like giving a gift or back to the community. I'm a person that I don't necessarily have to have a gift, but I like to give gifts.
Volunteers are one of the most precious assets of our hospice. Time and time again, they come back to serve because they understand the importance of their contribution.
We want to take a moment to say thank you to every single one of our volunteers for their kindness, their compassion, and their service to our community.
We love you all, and we are so grateful you are part of our hospice family. So we would like to take a moment to honor your years of service.
Thank you, volunteers, for loving our patients.
Thank you for all that you do and coming in and helping us do our jobs better and making our life and the patient's life easier.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That you just do. You have no idea how, some days I sit here in my office and some of the administrative volunteers will walk by and in and out, and it's such a pleasant change to see them, to see their faces, to see them smiling and being willing. Having a willing spirit is just a pleasant thing to encounter. So thank you.
I want to say thank you to our volunteers for everything that they do, for answering phones, for doing paperwork, for just about anything we ask you to do. I want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, I want to thank the volunteers for everything that y'all do, answering the phones, helping with patients, and all the good stuff y'all do. Thank y'all.
I just want to thank you guys for everything you do. It takes a very big heart to do just about any and everything that you guys do, not just for our patients, but you guys help our staff way more than you will ever know.
Thank you for devoting your time and your heart and your love to not just us, but our patients as well.
Thank you to all the volunteers for all that you do. Thank you for giving up all of your time to come be with us and make sure that our patients have everything that they need.
I do have a lot of love for volunteers because I think, as I've said before, there is so many things that they could be doing other than volunteering here, but they have chose to give their time to us.
We see you, we appreciate you, and we value what you do to help us every day.
Thank you, volunteers. You're gifts from above.
Thank you for coming in and volunteering your time.
Thank you for your dedication, compassion, your unselfish acts of kindness to our patients in the most vulnerable times of their lives. You make a difference to us, you make a difference to the patients, and you make a difference to their families. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you.
You guys do not have any clue how much we appreciate you on a day-to-day basis and how valuable the service that you provide is, not only to us, but to our patients.
Thank you for being our rays of sunshine. You bring brightness to our days. You always have a smile. All the volunteers always have a smile, and it just makes you feel good. From the things that they do in the building to the beautiful things they do in the garden. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. You guys are invaluable. Appreciate everything that you do. I can't imagine what it would be like to try to operate this facility without the volunteers.
Thank you, volunteers, for supporting the nursing staff and helping all our patients.
I would like to thank all the volunteers for donating their time to help us and our hospice patients.
Thank them so much for their time, for their heart that they bring to the organization, for the life that they bring to the organization, to the light they bring to the families every day. They definitely deserve our respect.
I recently read a book by a prominent woman who once held a very important position. In her book, she talked about what defines her, and it made me think about the qualities that define myself and those around me. For our hospice volunteers, I think that there are 3 things that define each of them. 1, they are generous. Each of them freely give of their time and talents for the betterment of our hospice, for no monetary return. They are giving individuals. 2, they are compassionate. Their kindness and concern for our patients is one of the hallmarks of the special kind of caring we provide. 3, they are all people of action and initiative. I hear people say they are going to volunteer someday. When they retire, when the kids leave the house, when they get such and such. Our volunteers don't just talk about what they are going to do, they take action. We have volunteers young and old, individuals who hold influential positions, and those that are retired or are homemakers, those that have given many, many hours to our organization, and those that just help out on special projects and tasks. Some like patient care tasks and others administrative, but all of our volunteers are doers. They each help us fulfill our mission and provide exceptional end-of-life care to our patients and their families. This is what defines our hospice: volunteers, and in turn, what defines our organization. So for myself and our entire staff, thank you to each of you for volunteering. We couldn't do this without you.